Opponent is going to get to blow something up. They're going to blow up the Smothering Tithe. Thank God. Oh, it's a heroic intervention. That messes up our plans a little bit. The Great Aurora. I'm sure I'm not going to like this.
Today on Commander Replay, the Midnight Hunt for Red October continues with Rem Karolus Burn. Next on Commander Replay. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon, link below.
Welcome back, everyone. Midnight Hunt for Red October. Playing some Rem Karolus, Stalwart, Slayer. Taking another look at it today. This opener is... with 2 lands, I'd probably try it, but we're going to mulligan that into 2 lands. That's not a great 2-land hand. Probably going to go to 6, because that hand's kind of slow, doesn't do much. Also 2 6-drops. This is, I guess, as good as it's getting. Keep this. What's going to the bottom? Probably Search for Glory. Actually, Search for Glory can find a land, though. That is a thing that it can do. But it is a ways away. Yeah, Search for Glory to the bottom. There's an Alpine Meadow. That helps. Let's get that into play since it comes in tapped. I feel a little better about things now because we can go land, Signet, Skyclave Relic, maybe? Would love to kick the Skyclave Relic. We'll see about that, though. Tresselara Moondancer coming in. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on it and scry 1. Not bad. Not bad. There's a Wheel of Fortune. That may be handy. Not going to go for it just yet. Not that we have the mana, but I'd like to get a few more things out of our hand first. So we'll play our Arcane Signet and we'll tap out and pass. Farseek for opponent. So yeah, we're playing Rem Karolus, Stalwart, Slayer, one that we've looked at before on the channel. Highly recommend you check those games out. Very interesting commander out of Midnight Hunt. It's a 3-mana 2/3 with flying and haste. If a spell would deal damage to you or another permanent you control, prevent that damage. If a spell would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent opponent controls, it deals that much damage +1. So essentially almost like the Wanderer for your stuff, protects you from burn spells. Does not protect you from abilities, which is important to keep in mind. But you can basically play all of the red board wipes with Rem in play, and they won't touch any of your things as long as he stays in play. So pretty cool little commander. This is it's a more burn-focused deck. It still has some combat elements because it's me. If I'm playing a Boros creature with flying, there's just going to be some combat elements to the deck, so... We do catch an Dominaria. That does make me happy. I did want to get that land. Yeah, we can cast the Skyclave Relic right here. I'm not too worried about our commander yet. Would rather get this thing in. Make sure we keep getting that mana count up. We are facing some green decks today. And yeah, they can produce some mana, so we can kind of get out to like an early lead here with the mana. That's going to be a good idea, I think. Kodama's Reach for opponent. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. So the play is probably going to be something like, get this Thran Dynamo out, get the Feast and Famine in, then look at the Wheel of Fortune. And we'll just give up on the Anger of the Gods. We do have a few ways to get it back in this deck. We have the Dragon that does it, that gives things flashback. We also have Past in Flames. But yeah, this is a cool little deck. I haven't played it in a few weeks, so I'm excited to take another look at it today. Kind of drew awkwardly in the one game that we played with it. So hopefully the draws are nice and smooth. I would like to see some of the more interesting card choices in this deck. We've all seen me play Aurelia and Gisela a lot, and I know they can win games, so hopefully we'll get a chance to look at some of the other things in the deck, like Taral for Chandra's Incinerator, those type cards. Here comes Grand Warlord Radha into play. Yeah, this is like a pretty nasty commander because it has the ability to spit out a ton of mana, and I've seen this deck just really take off. Like, this deck can win on turn 5 or turn 6 if they get a piece of fast mana, they get a couple early creatures down, and no one has interaction for them. It can spiral really quickly because it's a commander that can make mana, and it can make it in bunches if you have creatures. Only getting 1 extra green right now, not the end of the world.
If you like the video, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell.
Heliod Suncrown coming in. Yep, that's a good one. Tough to get rid of that one. Opponent going to do some attacking. Yeah, they're going to poke us for 2. There's a Myriad Landscape. More slow lands, but lands nonetheless, so that makes me happy, and that's one that can turn into more lands later, which I can appreciate. We'll play the Thran Dynamo, play the Feast and Famine, and think about Anger of the Gods and Wheel of Fortune next turn. Actually, we could probably go something like Rem, equip the sword, Anger of the Gods, Wheel of Fortune. That could be pretty wild. And maybe throw in Crack a Myriad Landscape in there? Megantic Sliver coming in. Slivers get +3/+3. Wow. They will all be huge. It's a 6/6. Goblin Assault triggering. Yeah, this is where the excess mana is going to start coming in. And even though they haven't had the fastest start, they're probably going to really start to take off right here. Ooh, with Rem in play, Anger of the Gods will kill Grand Warlord Radha. That's a thing to remember. Awakening Zone. So, actually, the ideal thing right here would be if they attack, cast a few more creatures that we can sweep away with his Anger of the Gods. I'm also hoping to catch Lathiel as well. That would be super nice. D-Manny doing an attack for 2. Splitting it around. Getting some green mana. Yeah, I was sad for a second because I'm like, wait, the Anger of the Gods doesn't kill Grand Warlord Radha. And then I remembered that Rem does that. So we'll definitely want to get that going this turn. Don't know that we'll be able to do every single thing that I want to do, but Tribe Elder. Yeah, it looks like he's hurting on green mana over there. So that Tribe Elder should get him going just a little bit better. Ew, a Smothering Tithe. I guess the wheel's off the table. Ouch. Well, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Tresselara coming our way again. Yep, nothing we can do about it. Brings it back to our turn. There's a land, Smothering Tithe. Yeah, let's do the math here. We'll have 10 total mana. It'll cost us 5 to cast our commander and equip the thing. Yeah, I think we can pay. Play the plains. Cast our commander. Equip the sword. See if this sticks. It's on. It's on. Feeling all right. Let's swing into Sean one time because he's got that Smothering Tide that makes me nervous, but D-Manny's also making me a little nervous. Send in Rem. Sword trigger on the stack. I'm going to crack the Myriad Landscape right here. You know, there's actually a lot of reasons why we could go for 2 mountains, but we have the Samaria, so we should start going for plains. This is a much more red-heavy deck than a lot of my Boros decks, so if Amaria wasn't in play, I'd probably go for the mountains. But brings our plains count up to 4. Our land's untap, and we're going to cast the Anger of the Gods and kind of slow everyone down here. Cracks a Tribe Elder. Yep. Turning Anger of the Gods into a 4-mana Wrath is, like, pretty good, especially for how cheap it is. 4-mana Wrath for 3 mana with Exile? It's legit. I mean, it's pretty legit on its own anyway. That still gets a lot of things. But yeah, when you can start getting 4 toughness creatures, there's a lot of 4-mana, 4 toughness creatures now. The power and toughness on creatures at 4 mana has really crept up over the last 10 years or so. I think a perfect example, look at both Joyras. First Joyra is a 4-mana 2/2, the second one's a 4-mana 3/3. And I would rate the power of their other ability, the draw ability or the suspend ability, or like, they operate in a very similar space power-wise, even though they do different things. They're both pretty good commanders. The older one's maybe fallen off a teeny bit over the years, but it's still super nasty if you ever run into it. There's a Bring to Light. It's pretty good. Oh no, there's a Harmonic Sliver on the stack. Yeah. That's going to be terrible. Oh god, we're not going to have anything in this game ever again. Harmonic Sliver. At least, at some point it might hit the Smothering Tithe, so there's that. But I'm guessing Feast and Famine's first. Yeah, they're going for the Feast and Famine first. I forget if there's a way to get that back in this deck. Let's take a peek. Appears to be a negative. Yeah, that's something to work on. I guess we can Misspell Plains it back to the bottom and then get it with Stoneforge Mystic. That's a possibility. A few things need to happen first for that, though. Problem here is that the longer this Harmonic Sliver stays in, the worse it is for all of our mana-producing artifacts. I get why the Feast and Famine has to be blown up, but I really don't want to lose the Strand Dynamo. This makes life nice for us. Maybe we could have waited a turn on the Anger of the Gods. It felt like a nice tempo play, but I guess now that our tempo's been slowed a bit, opponents can just catch right back up. Toski, ugh. Did I say ugh? Whenever a creature you control deals damage to a player, draw a card, and whenever they attack, they make mana. Well, Grand Warlord Radha isn't in, so that's good. Yeah, it's also bad with the Smothering Tithe. Opponent went and got a first Sliver, which I don't love. So they'll get to blow up 2 or 3 things, probably, when the first Sliver comes down. Smothering Tithe, yep, getting that party going. Beast Whisper, there's a land, not exactly what we were looking for. Smothering Tithe. Yeah, we just have not a lot going on this turn. I'm pretty sure they're going to blow up the Smothering Tithe this coming turn, so we should just wait a turn on the wheel. Play the Wooded Foothills, crack the Wooded Foothills. We'll get a Sacred Foundry tapped. I don't think it makes sense to attack anywhere. Blocking tokens from over here is a good thing. The damage isn't that relevant. Plus, a couple big attackers out there with big slivers. If our mana holds up, there is some chance that, like, I would just block a big creature with this and let it go, with the assumption that we can recast it pretty easily with our mana right now. Just in order to protect our life total if, like, this 6/6 comes over to us. Something to think about. Because we have mana and not much to do, so that's the recipe for just get value from your commander, at least saving your life total if you can. Up to 5 planes, by the way, on this area. No creatures in the graveyard yet, but this wheel should be able to get us into some stuff. Yep, here comes the first Sliver. It's gonna cascade into a training grounds. Disgusting. Who's their commander, by the way? We should take a look at that. Sliver Queen. Ew. Yep, it's pretty good with Sliver Queen. Yeah, we need to find a board wipe is what we need to do. Yeah, opponent playing Sliver Queen, 5 mana, 7/7. Pay 2 to create a 1/1 colorless Sliver creature token. It's a Sliver commander. I accidentally traded one of these in 1998 to my friend. He still has it. And it's fair to say that I did not get its current value worth of stuff in that trade. Also traded a Mox Diamond in that same trade. Worst trade ever. Opponent is going to get to blow something up. They're going to blow up the Smothering Tithe. Thank God. Nope, it's a heroic intervention. That messes up our plans a little bit. Yeah, now we can't do anything once again. And I might just bite the bullet. Here. I don't know, that's so risky though. But what do we do? Just let Sliver Queen come in and have them make a bunch of things? They still don't have a ton of mana. That's the one saving grace here. But they will cascade a whole bunch if they start casting things. Sean says I play fair magic. Just protecting his stuff. 4/4 coming our way. 4/4 is not big enough for me to block. The 6 is a little scarier, but we'll take the 4. That'll keep us at 30. Reasons not to wheel is that they have a Beast Whisperer, so when they start casting creatures, they can just keep going for quite a while. No blocks. Opponent's going to Beast Within the first Sliver. First Sliver goes down. That's good news. Casting 1 Sliver a turn is fine. Getting 3 or 4 is a big problem. Goblin Assault, Awakening Zone trigger. How much non-wheel card draw do we have in the deck? Probably not enough. Ignite the Future, I think is it. The lands. Here comes Grand Warlord Radha into play. Yep. Continuing our opponents, by the way. D-Manny piloting Grand Warlord Radha. A really interesting commander that I feel like doesn't get enough love because it's actually pretty strong. It makes mana. It's mana in the command zone. All you need to do is attack with some creatures, and you can get red and green mana that you don't lose until end of turn. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. They've got some stuff lined up here, so they can probably make a big play. Spreading it all around. Yeah, that's kind of why I left the commander back. Nothing coming our way. Yeah, they get 4 mana. You can do a lot with 4 mana in your second main. Opponent's going to block 1 and eat 1. Yep. Block and eat another. It's a good idea. Opponent's going to get to draw 2. Smothering Tithe will trigger. And it triggers again. Oracle of Moldiah is a great card to drop in. Ew, the Triumph of the Hordes on top. That's not ideal. I guess they don't have millions of things in play, but still, the Infect doesn't take that much with Infect. A thing that we could do is we could wheel and make Sean the threat because he'll have tons of mana, and then just hope that this Triumph of the Hordes goes in that direction. And depending on what we draw, I may actually do that. I don't think we can wait much longer doing nothing. Oop, that's a Dismantling Wave. Training Grounds, Thran Dynamo, and Goblin Assault. That's not ideal. Yeah, Dismantling Wave is pretty good. Pretty good. Lathiel coming into play. Yep, they'll draw a card. Our final opponent, by the way, is Sean, piloting Lathiel the Bounteous Dawn. Lifelink, at the beginning of each end step, if you gain life this turn, distribute up to that many +1/+1 counters among any number of other target creatures. Basically, their stuff gets huge, is what happens. Oh, this is tricky. We have a chain reaction now, which is pretty good, actually. I think I'm going to wait because I think the Smothering Tide's going to get blown up this turn. So I think we're just going to hang back. I suppose we could have paid for that, but yeah, we'll just sit back where we are. Pass like that. We're a little bit of a control deck, so doing control things right now. Trying to get the Smothering Tithe out of here so we can get back on our game plan. I didn't want a chain reaction yet because I want the Harmonic Sliver to blow up the Smothering Tithe. Also, Sliver Queen. No, well, the Training Grounds went down, so maybe not Sliver Queen this turn. Here comes the Sliver Queen. Goes after the Smothering Tithe. Fantastic. Wheel is starting to look good. They're going to make a Sliver. Get to destroy another thing. What are they going for? I'd go Awakening Zone, personally. Does a little bit more than a Signet. They're going for this Heliod, but Heliod is in fact indestructible, so it's not going to get much done there. No attacks from opponent. I would have forced my way in somewhere with the 6/6. No one has anything remotely threatening in play for that. And they still have plenty of blockers, so yeah, they could have chipped a little bit right there. That stuff matters too, because we're a burn deck, so, every time someone's life gets lower, that's us getting closer to the finish line. Ooh, that's a Bane of Progress. So, artifacts and enchantments not long for this world in this game. It's unfortunate, but so far, we're ready to wheel, and that makes me happy. Need stuff to do. We can also get the Triumph of the Hordes out of opponent's hand if they don't cast it this turn. They're going to Eternal Witness. Whatever they get back, if they don't cast immediately, we can also get out of their hand. They're going to get back the Beast Within. They're in combat already, so they can't Triumph of the Hordes this turn, which is good. I don't have, like, that many attackers, though. A couple things coming our way. They're going to get 2 mana. We can block the 1/1. Stop a card draw. They draw. Plays a land from the top. You know what beats small tokens? Big creatures. Yep. That it does. I remember playing the Edgar Markov deck a lot, and, like, a deck like this is pretty nasty against Edgar Markov, because you just can't attack them with your 1/1s and 2/2s. Opponent's going to draw a card with the War Room. That's fine. Ooh, showing Crater Hoof on top. Lovely. Gotta love token decks. We're going to put it into their hand also when we wheel. But theoretically, they should only have 1 creature in play, which is the Toski. If everything holds up here. Haven't seen a protection spell go by in the cards that they revealed, but we don't know every card in their hand. That could get us. Pride Mage coming in. They draw a card. Opponent's going to poke D-Manny. It's going to get exalted on the Lathiel. Yep. Fortifying Drought. You gain 2 life. Target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the amount of life you've gained this turn. Nice. So it's going to get a little bigger. And they gain a life, so Heliod can pump this thing up. And they're going to get a nice little shot for 6 in. And then probably make their other stuff huge. But 15 creatures for Chain Reaction, so Chain Reaction should clear everything out. As long as no protection spells. Yep, hits, and then Heliod's Intervention again. Yep. Things are taking shape over there. Opponent's at 41. Great Henge. Disgusting. There's some chance that... I think it has to go on other creatures. I don't think it can pump itself up. You're going to start pumping up the Beast Whisperer. Yep. Greater Good. No. It's not a card you want to see. Man, I really don't want to blow up this Harmonic Sliver, but we got to wipe the board. He's got Hoof and the other one, Triumph of the Hordes. Like, that's 2 finishers. Can't have both. Lathiel End Step Trigger. Make this thing huge. Yeah, pump those things up, but they'll get swept away. 10 life. It's not bad. It's not bad. We draw a Sun Home. That's fine. Play the Sun Home. Play Chain Reaction. Blow up all the creatures on the board. Opponent's going to Beast Within our commander. That's fine. Sean's going to Greater Good, but in theory that shouldn't help too much because of the Wheel of Fortune. We'll just be stocking their graveyard up. I can't stand Greater Good. Greater Good is like way too strong in certain decks. Really any deck with green. You can draw 30 cards. No big deal. It's way too easy to draw 30. Opponent sacrifices the last one, the Greater Good. Yep. Discarding lots of things. Chain Reaction finally resolves. Board getting blown up. Very nice. Sean's up to 10 cards. Yeah, we're going to wheel that away. Fix that Greater Good problem. Reset this game. Blow up the board. Wipe everyone's hands. D-Manny says all of his green win cons are in hand. I'm aware. I am aware. Mana Crypt is helpful. Do need to get back on the right side of things here. Fire Song and Sunspeaker is a card. That's a lot of lands otherwise, though. That makes me not super happy. You know, I may Heliod's Intervention those two. We have a little time to decide on that. We can go Heliod's Intervention X3. What's this do? Red instant and sorcery spells you control have lifelink. Whenever a white instant or sorcery spell causes you to gain life, it does 3 damage to target creature or player. Cool. Yeah, we'll just pass like that. Let's see what we discarded from Sean's hand. True Conviction, Archangel of Thune, Nykthos Paragon, Itlamok, Flawless Maneuver, Akroma's Will, Garrick's Uprising, Prized Unicorn, Gaia's Cradle, Solemn. Yeah, feeling pretty good about that. Got them good. Although we did not draw amazing. We drew a lot of lands. Create 2 slivers over there. Yep. Door of Destinies. Ooh, that's another. That's something you probably want to blow up. Check out D-Manny's graveyard. Finale of Devastation. Kamal. Triumph of the Hordes. Bane of Progress. Still a hoof in their hand, though. I'm torn about the Heliod's Intervention now. It might make sense to wait, but there's the potential of gaining a lot of value right here. I guess we can go 3 targets and leave the Awakening Zone, but Awakening Zone is scary with a hoof. This deck has drawn weird a couple times now, so I think I need to work on the card draw just a little bit. Tendershoot Dryad is a disgusting card. Ooh. Next turn, they'll have, like, enough damage for hoof to be a big problem. Scavenging Ooze. Toski going on the attack. Yep. One's going to draw 1. Yep. Growing Rights. Growing Rights trigger. It's going to flip. More mana. Yeah. Oh, it didn't flip? Why didn't it flip? Weird. Oh, no, that was the ETB trigger. Now it's going to flip. We have a Strip Mine, I guess, but got a lot we need to do land-wise. I want to get the Scry land in so we can find something that matters. There's a Tendershoot trigger. Also want to get this in for another Plains. Still 2 Plains to go for Emeria. But also need to get the Strip Mine in to shoot the Cradle. Shooting Cradle's probably the highest priority, honestly. We'll see what Sean does here. Esper Sentinel is a card. Yeah, I think I'm going to wait on the Heliod's intervention because we need a really big Heliod's intervention. Solitude. Well, we don't have any creatures. What are we exiling? Probably this guy. Counter on the Esper Sentinel. Great Henge. Solitude. Yep, exile the Tendershoot. Counters on the Solitude. Cultivate. Yep. Waiting on the Heliod's intervention. Opponents are all way ahead of us on cards. It's unfortunate. Let's go, Tails. Lost the flip. Not great. We're bleeding. Opponents all have more life than us. Another land. Wow. Play the Strip Mine. Play Fire Song. Sit on Strip Mine and Heliod's intervention. Here's a Genesis Wave X6 into the Esper Sentinel. I think D-Manny's going to target Sean, so I might let him do that to get Sean out of the game, because it's a lot of life, and if he's going to go on a big attack, then there is some risk to us, though. A Demonic Tutor for opponent. What Slivers does opponent have in play? They have the pay 2 life, return it to its hand Sliver. Slivers have Haste, is a good one, and those are just Slivers with no abilities. Yeah, it's a good set of abilities right there. Haste can get you late in the game like this if, Sliver Queen or one of the big ones comes down. It's pretty scary. Opponent says, don't fear the Reaper. Yep, yeah, we're going to let him have this Cradle for a turn. I think we made a deal. I'm pretty sure we made a deal that said, hey, you want to keep this for a turn? We're not the target with this hoof. Opponent's going to do some graveyard exiling. That's fine. Getting the Archon of Coronation. That's a good one. Oh, yeah, with Skoos in play. Ameria, kind of useless. We do have board wipes, though, so may not be here forever. Exiles the first Sliver. That's a fantastic idea. Goes for Beast Whisperer. You probably want to get the Eternal Witness, just in case. You don't want to see Eternal Witness loops. Goes for the Harmonic Sliver. Doesn't want artifacts and enchantments getting blown up. Here comes the Xenagos. Yep. Into the Esper Sentinel. Champion of Lamholt is a super nasty card. Opponent's going to activate Xenagos and get a bunch more mana. Cradle number 2. How come opponent didn't get any counters on Door of Destiny? How did these come in? Did they come in before that? Here's the hoof. In this game of Crater Hoofs, this is not the deadliest one that I've ever seen, but still going to get something done. Because Champion of Lamholt will essentially make the team unblockable. Yeah, the team's pretty big. Not all of them are legal attackers, though. Yeah, they can kill one player. They are going to attempt to take Sean out. Could have a Swords or Path. Buy themselves a lot of wiggle room with that. They can also draw and discard a little bit. What's in their graveyard? Do they have Swords or Path? Didn't see Swords or Path in the graveyard, so if they're running it, it's still in the deck. They got some chances to loot with the Greater Good. At least Radha's not in play. They'd also be getting mana on top of all this. They probably could have cast her, though. They still have a bunch of mana left. D-Manny said he wanted to spread damage, and he's still just barely going to be able to get through Sean, I think. So he had to send everything over there. 25, 33, 40, yeah, 48, I think is what he's sending over. Down he goes. Toski's going to draw a couple times. That's actually kind of scary. A lot of things still need to happen here. I might wait on the Heliod's intervention more. We might just need to, gain a lot of life to survive. If we can find a red burn spell with Fire Song in play, that gains us a lot of life, which is good against someone trying to attack you a lot. The Great Aurora. I'm sure I'm not going to like this. Each player shuffles all cards from their hand and all permanents they own into their library, then draws that many cards. Each player puts any number of land cards from their hand onto the battlefield. Exile the Great Aurora. I think we're going to gain some life. Hopefully this doesn't crash Magic Online. We'll gain 10 life. I'm sure opponent's going to come out ahead in this because we're a more spell-based kind of deck. Does this shuffle graveyards? I don't think it does. Love to get that Thran Dynamo back. Also the Feast and Famine. Hey, we get to do 3 damage to a thing. What can we shoot? Nothing over there. Shoot him in the face for 3. The Great Aurora happens. Hopefully we catch enough lands. Looks like we got some forms of gas. We have a Repercussion. We've also got this Acidic Soil. Could be kind of interesting. See how many lands people get. Ooh. Put all lands into play. I like that there's an all lands button with the Great Aurora. Ameria came back. Love it. Love it. We definitely lost some mana, though. Probably not going to be able to do everything we want to do. Actually, well, if we go Neheb, Acidic Soil. Oh, he has 28 cards? No, he has 13 cards in hand. He's still going. Champion of Lamholt is back. We'll see. We might have a way to get rid of that. We have a Backdraft Hellkite in hand, which is also going to be helpful. Urabrask. Gross. Do we need to Chaos Warp anything? Probably not. We have the Repercussion. Ooh, Repercussion might be able to get us the win. So, Neheb, Acidic Soil, get a bunch of mana. Then With all that mana, Repercussion, Jaya's Immolating Inferno, probably with a Fire Song and Sunspeaker. Seems like a plan. Nervous about the mana that Slivers has up, though, but I assume that that deck is, like, probably 40 or 50 creatures. Hopefully not too much interaction. They haven't shown a ton of interaction. Nature's Lore, we'll crack our Scalding Tarn. Get Sacred Foundry tapped. I would like to be able to catch, like, a Signet off the top or something. Because we won't be able to cast the Fire Song and Sunspeaker. We have exactly 8 mana right now, which is Acidic Soil into Neheb. So we won't be able to cast any of our white cards. Yep, opponent just firing off all the ramp. They tapped out, though. That's good news. Earthquake is a magic card. So if opponents don't have interaction, we can just win right here. Well, let's try it. Neheb, Acidic Soil. Come on, please resolve. Oh, I think it's going to resolve. We still need to get through combat, though. Opponents take a bunch of damage. We get 25 red mana. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. No white for the Fire Song, though. Makes me sad. Repercussion. Opponents thinking about countering the Repercussion. Yeah, they definitely should. 100%. Now we know they have a counter, though, so we're going to have to play kind of carefully. How do we want to do this? Let's try this Hearth and Home. See if this baits a counter. Nope. Let's try this Earthquake. Go X4 on the Earthquake. Repercussion triggers. D-Manning goes down to Repercussion, and now we need to deal with the Sliver player. We have 14 red mana left. Let's cast the Backdraft Hellkite. We know they have a counter, so, like, it's kind of tricky right here. Would prefer to not get stuff countered. We can equip this. That makes sense. Equip it to the Neheb. Get a little protection on Neheb if we can. I'm going to hold this because what's probably going to happen is they're going to have to try and get a bunch of things into play, and they are much more likely to tap out, and then we can just easily burn them out once that happens. Patriarch's Bidding. Uh-oh. Do we have any creatures in our graveyard? I think we have 0 creatures in our graveyard. Yep, doesn't really matter. How many do they have in their graveyard? A couple. It could be worse. That one's got lifelink, though. Sliver is not the best. Ah, there's the Flying and Haste. How much is that? Oh, we have to block. Ooh, wow. Wow, they just exploded with damage. No attacks. Fearing Repercussion. But they did tap out, so we can just blast them in the face. Although, we don't have nearly the damage that we used to. But, Neheb is unblockable. White and green creatures only. Oh, they just passed their combat. They meant to attack, yeah. They had easy lethal. That's an Aurelia. That technically goes infinite, but Aurelia can't get through successfully. So what we do is attack. All of our stuff has flashback. I've never actually gotten to use this before, but I think it should be pretty cool right here. Opponent's going to block. Yeah, that's fine. Repercussion, sort of Hearth and Home. And opponent's going to gain life. We can... Do we want to untap the Neheb? No, we don't need to. Get a land. Get a Plains. 10 red mana. That's not as much as I was thinking it was going to be, but it's still decent. Still decent. What do we do with the 10 red mana? We could go Fire Song and then Acidic Soil. Let's go Fire... Yeah, let's try it. Change things up a little bit here. We'll get Rem in also. Why not? Acidic Soil with lifelink. Opponent survived at 4. That's unfortunate. Shoot them in the face with this thing? Shoot these. Wait, is X is only 3? Oh, yeah. And we'll get there just enough with the Rem staying in play. And down they go! Nice. So we caught a break that they missed their combat there, but we caught some breaks late, which is the Great Aurora, which he was leading right there, so there's no reason to cast the Great Aurora unless you're just trying to screw around. And that's what kind of gave us new life, because we just had a lot of nothing going on before that. So we got a little help from our opponents right there. This deck has been kind of weird. It's been drawing dead a little bit more than I would like it to. I think we need a little more card draw in here. So I just seem to be missing all the card draw. It's not helpful in the course of a game. Commune with Lava is probably the one for this deck. This deck's pretty good at generating mana, so... Like, we had the Thran Dynamo early, and, you know, we were up to 10 mana pretty quickly, so you can do a lot with the Commune. The Acidic Soil was halfway decent. I was surprised about that one, so that was cool. Maybe there needs to be more bigger stuff in the deck. Like, there's a decent amount of ramp, and maybe the curve's a little too low. Something to think about. But I guess we have a bunch of X-Spells. The X-Spells are big, but they can scale. It's important. I think this deck could use a Tectonic Giant also. You know, Fiery Emancipation may be overkill. Well, with that in play, it protects us. I guess that's fine. What are we cutting? There's the questions. Guess we can cut Authority of the Consoles. I do really like it, though. And I guess the graveyard removal. Not a great idea. Should probably find something else to cut, but whatever. It is what it is. So anyway, another game with Rem. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.
Help support me and save 15% on singles by using the promo code REPLAY at mothershipaTX.com. Commander Replay t-shirts, available in orange and colors beside orange.